unlocked a round table.
Welcome to the Lost Levels roundtable discussion of Draft Day, the new Kevin Costner movie.
Stop lying about movies.
What?
Stop lying.
It's not Draft Day?
No.
Then why the hell did I watch that?
Because
Bad
you're
decisions.
a silly man,
Bad decisions.
and you rebel for the time when Robin Hood was an awesome movie.
Oh, fair enough. All right, with me, as always, is Alex.
Hello.
And on the left, Adam Roble.
What's up, guys?
Yes, this podcast we're actually going to be discussing Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and we're also going to be discussing InFamous: Second Son.
Full of spoilers, both of these.
Yes, this is a roundtable discussion. We haven't done a roundtable discussion in
Over a year.
It's
Two.
Yes.
It's been a very long time. So what is exactly a roundtable discussion for Lost Level? Adam?
Well, basically, it is a spoiler cast. We talk about our impressions of the movie, Endgame in this case, and we kind of discuss what we thought of it, what we liked, what we didn't like, and most importantly, as Alex has already mentioned, this will be spoiler heavy. So if you haven't seen the movie or you haven't played the game to its completion, you may want to do that before continuing listening to our podcast.
Yeah. So again, spoiler warning for the final time. We are going to be discussing this stuff because when we didn't want to review this basically with no spoilers because there's a lot of stuff to talk about regarding Captain America and how it intertwines itself into the Marvel universe and Phase 2 leading into Phase 3. So we want to talk about that spoiler-wise, and that way you guys can get the full brunt of our opinions and our discussion here. So let's start off. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Synopsis really quickly of the story, Adam.
Okay, so the movie opens up with Captain America being sent on a mission to save some hostages on a large ship. Eventually, he finds out that there's a mole or moles within S.H.I.E.L.D. after this first mission. Captain America does not know who he can or cannot trust. And the Winter Soldier, which I'm sure anybody that's read the comic books does know that is it's Steve Rogers' old buddy Bucky. Shows up.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. Yeah, warned you. So,
Spoiler 1.
The Winter Soldier shows up as basically a mercenary for Hydra, which is the main bad guy in this movie.
The main bad entity.
Entity. There you go. Yeah.
There are many Hydra.
Yes, multiple Hydra always hailing each other.
Yes.
So, long story short, this movie is about the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, yeah, that's a quick synopsis without going into too many details.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Where does Kevin Costner fit in?
He is a gaffer for the movie. He's fallen very far from actor to just a gaffer now.
I
he
apparently watched the wrong movie. Winter Soldier, you got the story. Initial thoughts. Like, what did you guys think going into it?
Going into it, I was hoping it was going to be good, and I like this in some sense more than I like the original Captain America because I felt, the first Captain America you got a good sense of his character and what he's all about. This one you really get to see kind of like how much of a badass he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the first scene when he's infiltrating that boat, like he is laying waste to everyone on that ship, just knocking him down left and right. And you're like, holy shit, Captain America, I didn't know you were like this. And it's pretty freaking impressive.
It was very comic book.
Yeah.
It was really true to the character in the books.
Very satisfying. And then just as the story progresses, you're like, holy shit, Marvel, what are you doing to your universe right now? Because, I mean, this is like a huge game changer for everything that's been going on in the universe as of now. So it's like, it really gets you excited for what they have planned. Yeah,
it shows that Marvel Studios is not afraid to really throw a wrench in the gears and just screw things up and, like you said, just completely change the the direction of the movies.
I mean, it's just like, think of the huge comic book events they have, like House of M or War of the Hulk or
Civil War.
Civil War, yeah.
Invasion, I mean,
all of that, that affects the whole universe. Like, they're doing this in the movies now, and it's like, this is great.
Yeah, I mean, for the lack of a better term, it's epic. Everything and everybody in this world is, in one way or another, going to be affected. Branching off even into the TV show that Chris was telling me about, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, I am the only person in America that watches that show, apparently.
I watch it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watch it just because I do like the tie-in aspects to it. They need to do more of that more often or more frequently because that show is dying. But it's all up and down. But my initial thought, you touched on it in the opening scene. Yeah, Cap. We finally get to see Cap being Cap, because in the first movie, it felt like any of the action scenes were done in a montage type of way, where we didn't actually get to see him be that badass that he's supposed to be
and really show his power.
Right. I mean, show the skill. I mean, flinging around the shield as much as he does with the accuracy, and it was good. It was fine. The only aspect that I really did not, or kind of was the jarring to me, was the way they filmed the boat scene. The quick cut, quick edit action scenes close up where you didn't get to really see the actions, kind of like the Nolan universe, how those typical action movies have been going on with Hollywood. That was really disappointing to me, the way they filmed the boat scene. Everything after the boat scene was actually decent, but that boat scene was really distracting for me in terms of just the way that it was filmed.
That's weird. I mean, I
really
think like Alex.
Oh man,
I really enjoyed it, man. I kind of liked the choppy feel of it because it felt like it was going from panel to panel in a comic book.
But there's too much going on in that up close camera that it's kind of just too much for your eyes to process.
I think that was the point, though, that he was just, getting rid of all these mercenaries very quickly. He was dispatching them just one after another.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the argument, and I think we're just going to disagree in the regard of it's the way that it was filmed. They could have easily stepped back a couple feet in the camera frame and got just the same feeling as opposed to what they did. It's the typical Hollywood way that they film action scenes at this point, where everything's too close to the camera, quick edits, quick cuts, and the person's fight is done. You don't actually get to see the beauty of it like you see like in a Hong Kong flick or something like that.
Well, it's not a martial arts movie, so it's not going to be about combat back and forth. It's about Captain America dominating.
He's brawling these guys, for lack of a better term, and just...
Right, but we get brawling in Hong Kong movies, and we get to see that easily enough. I mean, they're smart enough to actually see the talent behind the choreography and everything like that. And but I'm just saying that it was just in the boat scene. It didn't bother me the rest of the movie. Just the opening scene where they're on the boat, that way they filmed it bothered me.
But it peaks so well with the last mercenary that he fights on the boat, where it's actually...
Which is filmed...
It does go...
Right.
Hand-to-hand combat, where it's not just him throwing people off of boats and decapitating them with his shield. Not literally, but, That
would have been a whole different movie if he was doing that. No, that was just my minor gripe of the way that it was filmed.
Fair enough.
I'm not saying that it was bad because of the way that they filmed it. It was a cool scene. I liked everything that was involved in the scene. I liked how Black Widow had her own secret mission on top of that, and the way that it affects Cap and the way it kind of pisses Cap off. To the point where it's like, well, how am I supposed to be leader of this mission if people are doing shit that they're not supposed to be doing or that I don't know about?
Yeah, how's he supposed to trust anybody? That's basically his first foray into not knowing who he can or can't trust before he even gets introduced into this mole.
Yeah.
What do you think of the relationship between Black Widow and Cap?
It was really good, actually. Like, I felt like this was the most developed Black Widow became as a character throughout all the movies, and it really starts to appreciate you as a character in the series, I think.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything that I've read. Like, everybody really enjoyed Black Widow's character to the point where Marvel would be considering doing a spin-off and doing her own movie, where you would have not thought that in the previously. It's like, oh, it's just Black Widow. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But they're starting to develop her character, and she's supposed to have even more of a larger impact in Avengers 2, her character. So it's like, I guess they're really trying to get her incorporated into this universe where, I mean, she's a B character when you look at like the A-list Avengers, who they are, and And it's just Black Widow. I did like their relationship. I thought the banter was really good. Their chemistry together was actually pretty decent. Mm-hmm. It wasn't bothering me, kind of like what Natalie Portman and Thor were in Thor 2.
Sure.
Where their chemistry wasn't very well.
Well, I think it's different in the sense that they're not really love interests in this movie. They're going to be a little awkward, and I think that awkwardness plays off on camera between the two.
I honestly, going into the movie, I thought they were going to develop a relationship. I really thought that by the end of Cap 2, that Black Widow and Cap would start to show emotional feelings towards each other.
I mean, I think you got a sense of like a spark between them, but it's nothing that's like developed on. They're like, they realize that, you know, they're very two different people, and there's nothing that happened between them. But I think they appreciate each other as a person.
Oh yeah, they definitely respect each other.
Yeah,
especially after Cap finally kind of settles on the fact that he can in fact trust her.
Right, but I mean, up until leading to that point, like, he doesn't know exactly how he feels about her and stuff, because she's a covert spy. Yeah. She's been a spy her whole life, so like, he doesn't know he can trust her. But I think the development between the two characters and the ability for them to trust each other wholeheartedly was developed really well.
Yeah, she was a great wingman for Cap, honestly. Like, in battle and in the dating and love life.
It was like, how you try this person? It's
yeah.
Like, no.
she's basically a wingman in both sense of the word.
Well, speaking of wingman, Falcon. What'd you guys think?
I thought he was pretty friggin' cool, man.
He was cool. I mean, yeah, I think the promos made it seem like he'd be a lot more important than he actually was. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because they had the whole poster for him. You're like, oh, wow.
Well, they had posters for everybody.
That's true.
I mean, they do that nowadays for any film.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, he was a cool little just, hey, look at this hero that no one ever speaks about. Let's put him in here. Yeah,
I mean, he's a minor character in the books, but it's nice to see that Marvel is really it's going to sound bad, but, you know, scraping at the bottom of the barrel to get a wide variety of characters.
No.
And not in a bad way.
That does sound bad.
I know. Well, I can't think of a better turn of phrase for it, but they're digging deep into the
lore.
The world, the lore of Marvel.
I think it was actually perfect the way that they created his character.
Yeah.
Because he's another military guy who can relate to Cap. Mm-hmm. He's done tours. He's done all this stuff. And Cap's a soldier when it comes down to it. And to have another soldier having Cap's back, not necessarily like a spy or somebody else, somebody that can relate to everything that Cap's been through.
I loved his backstory regarding being a guy that holds these meetings for people that have PTSD. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a really cool... I mean, the character wasn't really developed all that well, but I feel that alone gave him enough depth to where you actually cared about him.
Right. I mean, when you think about it, it's really simple, or it's really not that hard to create a little bit of backstory for a character, and that goes so far in a film. Mm-hmm. But then you see so many films that just are kind of lazy about that regard, or they have too much stuff that they want to do. They threw too much shit at you, kind of like what we've seen in the X-Men movies. Like, you have 30 different mutants in there. You can't develop all of them, obviously, but a little bit of backstory goes so far in this, and I think that they really did a really good job, as you mentioned. Mm-hmm. They gave him that little, he's helping out people with PTSD. They're doing different stuff with him, and just that little bit of it gives that character so much more depth. It shows that he can relate to Cap. It shows that they can develop a good friendship between each other. And going forward, probably he'll play a bigger role in Cap 3, or he might play a role in Avengers. He's there now. He's established as a character. He has good history, and I really liked the way they did the wings too.
Oh yeah,
that was one of the major points that I was kind of worried about. Like, how the fuck are they going to give this guy wings? I mean, you look at the comic books, and it's just like this dude with white feathers,
like a cape, basically.
Yeah,
they were really smart about it.
So they went very intelligent about it. They gave him these metal wings, and they looked great on film.
It was a jetpack / wings, so he's basically gliding around with
it's
jet
like
propulsion.
a squirrel suit almost, but more advanced.
Basically, yeah.
It was awesome. Like, I loved him flying around. It was completely believable. It didn't bother me one bit. And he maximized the use of him. I mean, he's flying around, stopping in the air, floating, hovering.
Submachine guns and shooting at
Yeah. His combat scenes were very cool.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how much combat he actually had in the movie.
You didn't expect that much?
Yeah, I mean, considering he's a background character, basically, I didn't expect him to have that much combat. And, in the final mission where it's taking out the 3 helicarriers, he took out one on his own. and that was friggin' awesome. It was really cool. And I mean, what else can you say about a side character?
It's just making him more of a hero, which he's supposed to be established as.
Absolutely fits into the universe.
Yeah. Speaking of like other people, I guess other characters that were introduced. Let's talk a little bit about Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, as you mentioned, it's Bucky, his Cap's friend, longtime friend. What do you think about the way they introduced them?
It was nice. Like, my parents saw it, and they haven't read any of the comics. They don't know who the Winter Soldier is.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom, when she saw it, she was really taken back when it was revealed that it's Bucky Barnes, his old buddy, and she was like, she was really kind of floored by that scene. And so like,
that's cool.
Part of me like, I kind of wish I had that
big revelation.
Yeah, like that would have been really cool to see. So like, I'm jealous of her in that fact, but I still think they played it off really well.
Oh, absolutely. And he was super badass in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The arm. I mean, if we're just going to talk about,
looked good. Like,
yeah,
it looked a lot better than they did Colossus.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, there were like individual little pieces moving around. It looked like something from the future, but it looked like something that can exist.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just super awesome. The way they introduced him at the end of the car chase scene with Nick Fury, which was awesome. Which was a great scene.
Honestly, that's my favorite scene in the movie. I loved the Nick Fury action scene. I mean, it's not a Nick Fury movie, but I really enjoyed the hell out of that scene.
They gave him much more depth as well.
Yeah, they gave him something to fucking do. He's a soldier. Give him some action, man. He was badass. That SUV dude was badass.
He took out a squad of at least 25 dudes with that Gatling gun in that very first few seconds, and that was... Like, literally, I was in the theater and I grabbed my armrest. I'm like, holy shit, this is Nick Fury actually doing something,
You see why he's in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. at this point. You're like, okay, this makes sense.
And you show... They show him, like, actually being tactical. He doesn't just start, blowing dudes away. He's waiting for the window to drop down to, like, a certain percentage. And then he's like, now! Yeah. And he just takes everybody out. It's cool, man. It's what you expect of Nick Fury if you were in a combat situation.
Yeah, no, honestly, that was my favorite scene. I love that scene. That scene was great. It was well filmed. It was exciting. You had the tension behind it. You're like, oh shit, that window's going to break any minute, and it was awesome. Yeah. Well paced. And then all of a sudden, Nick thinks he's got away. He wants to get off the grid, and boom, there's Winter Soldier to fuck his ass up.
Yeah.
Then they have the impractical way to get out of the car and
cuts his way through the road.
I don't like that.
That was kind of weird and cheesy.
It's kind of a James Bond gadget,
right? Like if you're a Winter Soldier, like, hey, oh shit, he escaped. I can't go through the hole and follow him. Oh, cutscene. Like really? Come on, you go through the hole.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't have gotten very far. You just walked the span of.
He just was in a car crash.
Yeah, he has broken bones.
He's flipped over. He's obviously hurt. Like he could chase this dude down.
You walked 50 feet. He didn't get 2 miles away in that 50 feet walk that you walked over to the car.
It's a small plot hole, yes.
But come on. I mean that annoyed me. I guess for editing's sake and for time purposes' sake, that didn't it made sense. But
I think it made more sense the second time they did it, where they're in a caravan and.
Yeah, because no one knows they're escaping, or like. Yeah. They don't know until it's too late.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a 50-foot walk. It's like, oh, damn it, he got away.
So it made more sense.
Darn.
They had to.
It's still cheesy, but like it made more sense.
So I mean, that annoyed me. Come on, this dude's like this super mercenary killer dude, and it's like, oh man, damn it, he got away from me.
I ran out of bullets. Dirt.
Not even he didn't run out of bullets.
He shot that one like little magnetic mine, and that's it.
Which was awesome.
I did find it a little troublesome that he was right there at the exact right time when he was rolling down that street. It's like, okay, we're allowed to stand down that street. Like,
just waiting.
There's this insane car chase coming up, but I'm going to stand right here.
Hopefully
just in
makes
case,
that turn. Yeah.
Just in case.
No, where are they at? Are they in New York?
No, that was DC.
Was it DC?
Yeah,
all right.
DC,
if it was New York, then somebody would have just ran over him instead of standing in the middle of the street. But I guess DC people would.
If it was New York, there'd be stopping, like, all stopped traffic.
Yeah, well, somebody probably just ran over him. Like, fuck it, I got to get to work or something. But yeah, that little thing bothered me. But other than that, like, the scene was great.
Mm-hmm.
Where was it going? Next scene, Cap is in his
apartment.
And then he gets introduced to his neighbor,
who is a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Yeah.
which is a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, which they don't say in the movie, but she is supposed to be the granddaughter of, what's her name? His love interest in the first one, Peggy Carter.
Oh
shit.
Yeah. That was when she was cast. That was what was mentioned, and then they don't actually touch on that in the movie, which I was actually surprised about. But that's played by, what's her name? Emily Van Camp?
I don't know. I don't know actors and actresses' names.
Yeah, Emily Van Camp. Sorry, she plays Kate/Agent 13. But yeah, she is a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. We find out after Nick gets shot, and
To quote-unquote death.
yeah, shot to
Did
death.
anybody actually believe he was dead?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
but I did love the tombstone.
Yes.
The tombstone was awesome. For people who didn't catch on to that, if you read the tombstone in future viewings, it says "Path of the Righteous Man" on there, which is a direct quote of Pulp Fiction and Samuel L. Jackson's character in that.
Yep.
Which was awesome. I didn't catch it the first time. I saw this movie twice, because the first time I was kind of like indifferent about it. I was kind of eh. But then the second time I watched it, I felt it was a little bit stronger of a film. But yeah, I caught that the second time. Like, holy shit, that's awesome.
You think he requested that himself?
No.
No, actually, I read an article on it that it was just the writers and the writer trying to figure out, and I think like the sound guy came up with the idea or something like that. It was some like obscure person that really had like not huge to do with the movie. It was like his idea, like, oh, let's do this. I don't want to say it huge, but you know, like one of the minor writers or something like that is his idea.
That's pretty awesome. I didn't notice that at all. So next time I see the movie, I'll have to keep it.
Oh, really? You didn't know about that?
No.
Oh, see, I talked to Alex about it. I texted him about it after I caught on after the second view, and I didn't realize I didn't text you about it. Sorry.
No worries.
But yeah, I thought it was really cool that they did that little nod to him.
There's a lot of cool Easter eggs in this movie, man.
There are some decent ones.
I don't know if you guys noticed when Cap and Black Widow were interrogating the one of the moles on the rooftop. He mentions Stephen Strange.
Mhm.
I thought that was really cool. It's like, all right, you know, expanding the universe a little bit more. Maybe
Well, they do want to do a Doctor Strange movie.
They do, yeah.
So that was a nice introduction to his character. Like, hey, he exists in this universe.
Yeah, and like the typical person watching this movie that may not know about the Marvel universe, they won't even pay 2 cents to, or you know, pay any mind to it.
Mhm.
So I thought that was a cool Easter egg.
Yeah, and to talk about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the show, in the episode before Captain America comes out, that agent is in that episode. And
The mole one?
the mole agent is in the episode of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they mention of him. He was supposed to be in a plan for them to go on a mission, but then he gets taken away to go to that ship.
Oh, no kidding.
In the episode, then Captain America happens, and then we know why.
Yeah.
So that was a cool little tidbit from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But I guess we really didn't get into. I kind of bounced around really quickly, but like we didn't talk about Winter Soldier a lot. So aside from him being, you know, kind of a cool aspect, cool arm and shit like that, what'd you guys think? Like, do you like the character? Do you think that they developed him pretty well?
Well, it's hard to develop him because he's kind of brainwashed, so there's not much of a character to develop, I guess you could say.
Do you wish they went more into that, aside from like quick flashback 2-second scene where they show him being rescued, his arms off, and all of a sudden now he's this Russian agent? Do you wish there was a little bit more there?
Not really, honestly. I
Really?
think,
I don't think there's. I mean, I guess they could kind of show him like the breaking down of him.
they do at that one point where they're like electrocuting his head.
Yeah.
You know, when they wipe his memory again.
They call that like wiping his mind or whatever. So
Yeah.
you know, this is a process they've gone through a few times.
Yeah.
So
They must have, yeah. I guess that's good. I thinking about it after not like saying it out loud, like I kind of wish they did a little bit more for his character, because I mean we have Winter Soldier in the movie probably 3 or 4 different scenes, but then I kind of wanted a little bit more backstory, but maybe I got it after the credit scene where he's starting to remember. I don't know.
I mean, the backstory is that he's Bucky Barnes. I mean, that's really his backstory. I mean, there's not much to go through between his quote-unquote death and becoming Winter Soldier besides the brainwashing and the torture.
The
And I think
brainwashing.
you got that.
Yeah.
Maybe part of it, for me personally, was just because his name's in the title. It's Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And obviously they didn't want to spoil Robert Redford's character as the main villain. who really is the main villain in this movie, Alexander Pierce. So maybe they I don't know. But I expected more out of Winter Soldier just because his name's in the frickin' title.
Yeah.
You don't... I don't know. That for me personally, that was just...
I can see your point, but at the same time, I do feel that I think a little bit of mystery to the character is what really made him interesting.
Okay. Kind of like a Boba Fett or a Darth Maul character in the Star Wars universe, where you don't get a lot from him, but he's just this badass that kind of existed for a short period of time that people cling on.
It's a fair comparison, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Anything else you guys want to talk about the Winter Soldier?
Are we going to talk about the post-credit scenes?
Well, yeah, we're talking... This is a spoiler cast, so we can talk about all free reign.
Yes.
I mean, the first post-credit scene was just... Yes.
It's what a post-credit scene has to be, and what we've come to expect out of these Marvel movies. It's just... And it was longer than a typical post-credit scene, too. It was awesome.
Yeah.
What was what's his name? The dude with the monocle, Baron von something. He's an established Marvel villain who's like this mastermind of Hydra. Mm-hmm. And I had to look it up after the film. I immediately looked it up. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Mm-hmm. And he's an established Hydra agent. He's like super smart, intelligent. He has some mystical powers, but I don't think they're going to capitalize on that. His focus in looks like this Marvel universe for the movies is he got the scepter, has that, uses the powers for that to create superhuman beings, where it seems like a lot of their experiments died, but to live, and they're called the twins.
Yep.
And that is the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Yeah. Jeez,
dude,
just that introduction. It's dark. It's gritty, it's eerie. It's like
everything I wanted it to be. Like, it took everything in my power not to text you guys immediately after it, because I saw it first. Mm-hmm. I saw it the Thursday when it opened, and I was just like, oh my god. I want to tell you guys so bad about this. Like, holy shit, this is awesome. They introduced these characters exactly how I wanted them to be introduced. They look awesome. Quicksilver looks like a badass Quicksilver, not the Quicksilver from X-Men Days of Future Past, which is this weird hipster-looking...
silver-haired.
Yeah, he looks out of time, too, because, I mean, isn't that supposed to take place in the 70s? I mean, that's
like
not a...
late 70s,
that's not
early
like
80s, something
that's
like
not
that.
like a 70s look.
Yeah.
That Quicksilver has. He has this weird wig on, and he just looks stupid.
He kind of does.
He looks stupid. I'm sure he could play... He could be like the best performance ever for any movie ever made, and he just it would be ruined just by his costume design, because it looks horrible.
There were some bad decisions made with Quicksilver. Yes,
I mean the movie. Otherwise, the movie looks fucking awesome, but like Quicksilver, really. Anyways, Marvel's version of Quicksilver is also from Kick-Ass. Kind of funny enough. Yeah, they're both from Kick-Ass, which I love that. Two actors from Kick-Ass are both playing Quicksilver. But Aaron, from who played Kick-Ass, is Quicksilver in the Marvel universe, and he looks awesome.
Yeah, he does.
I'm super...
He looks disturbed. He looks a little crazy. Well, a lot crazy. He's bouncing off walls, going nuts inside that little cell.
Yeah, and he's lean. He looks like the Quicksilver type that I would expect from what my vision of what Quicksilver would be.
Yeah.
He looks awesome. And they're not mutants, obviously, because they can't do mutants. Is that what it is?
It's not that I don't think that they can't do mutants. They can't do any mutants that are owned by Fox. So, I mean, in this movie, they may be mutants. They may be, modified by Hydra. Who knows what it's going to be?
I'm going genetically engineered from the Scepter's powers, just because maybe they can't use the mutants. I don't know specifically if they can or cannot. Mm-hmm. I've heard rumors like, oh well, they don't have the rights to the mutants, so they have to do it another creative way. And I like the way that they did it. I thought it was actually pretty cool. So I really don't have any complaints about that. So yeah, we get introduced to them. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch looked really freaking cool, man. Like dark and evil.
Evil as shit.
Yeah,
she looked demented.
Yeah,
like,
they're both mentally challenged. That power did something to their minds, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked about that. Like, again, another great great way to see both of those characters. I mean, Scarlet Witch is in Days of Future Past, is she?
She is, yeah.
Have we seen anything about her?
I
have not
don't
seen her
remember.
at all on film, or any pictures of her or anything like that. So I have no idea what her character design looks like versus what Quicksilver's is.
Mhm.
But if it's anything like Quicksilver's, I am going to be disappointed.
Well, maybe it's going to be...
She has scarlet hair.
I hope so.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wearing rave gear.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Just fishnets, nothing else.
Yeah, I've really not seen anything about that now that I think about it. Like, I've been waiting to see pictures about it. And
She
they
might be a very
purposely-
important character in the movie that they don't want to spoil. Who knows?
They did like 30 different covers for that Empire magazine, and none of them were Scarlet Witch.
Maybe for a reason, or maybe she's been dropped. Who knows?
Yeah.
Rogue was dropped from the movie.
Rogue was dropped, but she did. I think she had one of the covers, didn't she?
I don't remember. There were so many covers.
There was a lot of covers. Anyways, all right. All right. What else can we talk about? We talked about the action. You know what? One thing I do want to point out: the action scenes. Yes, Cap is an amazing character. Obviously, he's an icon. He's a badass, superhuman strength. But it is a little disappointing that like every single enemy shoots directly at his fucking shield. Like, hey, he has legs exposed. Let's shoot his fucking
he
leg.
crouches down when he's...
I know, but it's so annoying. Like, you can pop off a couple shots, just like, oh, his legs exposed, before he goes into his little crouch position behind the shield.
And he's also moving very fast.
Oh no, I'm not. No, and then okay, well, he's on the boat, and this happened in the first Captain America too. That it kind of bothers me, where he's got all these enemies in front of him, and he just runs right through the entire the middle of the action, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And every single person that he's running by has blinders on and doesn't realize he's running past them, or doesn't think, hey, this guy's running past me like an asshole right now. His whole entire side and his back is exposed. I'm going to turn and shoot his ass. It's like, he's at my 3 o'clock. It's an easy shot. Why do I not think to do that? So, like, that bothered me in Cap 1, and I see it again in Cap 2. It's like, come on, guys. Like, seriously.
He's the hero.
And he gets shot. It's not like he's impervious to bullets. We find out that Cap can get shot.
Well, of course.
He gets shot a lot in this movie.
Yeah, he's not bulletproof. He's just superhuman strength and dexterity and athleticism,
But
and
yeah.
he heals quicker.
But
And
enemies are
it's-
stupid. I kind of hate that writing because it's kind of lazy. It's like, be creative about it. If you're going to do that and you're going to throw him into a fucking mix where he's running headstrong into a bunch of people and running past all of them, none of them turn around to shoot him in the back. Like, seriously?
It's a movie, dude.
Seriously?
At the end of the day, it's a movie where he's supposed to win and he's supposed to kick ass. So I think you're looking a little too deeply into it.
But, okay. All right, well,
Just
I'll talk about it in my final
Think
thoughts.
about the elevator scene and how badass that was.
Yeah.
The elevator scene was really well done. He does get shocked, but apparently it doesn't bother him.
Well, it bothers him. Like, he cringes and screams.
A normal person would be on their ass.
But not a normal person has superhero serum pumping through their veins.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. But like, shit, man. Okay, for the sake of the script, yes, it was a cool scene. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Open forum.
I think we touched on everything.
Okay, we talked about everything. We thought Samuel L. Jackson was cool. You know what? We didn't talk about Robert Redford's character, and we didn't talk about the demise of S.H.I.E.L.D. and what the impact has. Let's talk about that really quickly.
Well, we knew I knew from game, I don't like Robert Redford's character. He's the bad guy. I was right.
Yeah.
Like right away, you immediately
Yeah,
thought like his
like-
first opening scene.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Once we introduce him, like, this is going to be the main bad guy. And I was right in that regard. It's just, I don't trust the old business bureaucrat type dude.
Wasn't he like a senator or some shit?
No, I thought they established like he was one of.
Secretary of State or something or other.
He was like one of Nick Fury's people that Nick Fury trusted in some scenario, and then they developed a friendship. And then when Nick developed Shield or whatever, he asked Sebastian. No,
Well, Robert Redford.
Alexander Pierce. Sorry,
Yeah.
he asked Alexander to take over Shield as the head and do all the business shit because Nick Fury doesn't know all that shit. So he has his buddy doing all the bureaucratic shit, so to speak.
That's a lot of shits.
That's a lot of shits in that sentence. But yeah, it's basically that. That was my impression of it. But Robert Redford was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It's
But-
Redford. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, right. But like you get into your older actors, you kind of start seeing them phoning in shit. And God, I am saying shit a lot in this episode, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Damn it. They phone in a lot of their performances, but I think that he did that really well. He commanded screen presence. He was that person that you respect as he's talking, and he put the other people who the other leaders were kind of like in check. Like, I'm going to have quick gripes. I'm going to be a smartass because I'm fucking Alexander Pierce.
He's an actor that's maintained his integrity. You know, like you said, there's people at this point that have...
Bruce Willis?
Yeah, that have begun phoning in their roles just because they're bored with their jobs. Redford has never gotten bored with his line of work. He's gone from acting to directing and back and forth, and I think he keeps it fresh enough to where he enjoys his job still.
And it's also refreshing that part of my final thoughts too is kind of touch on this a little bit, but it's kind of refreshing that you have serious actors like Robert Redford and people in these movies as established actors who are taking it seriously, as opposed to if this movie was made in the 90s, this would have been a completely different movie. This would have been more tongue-in-cheek.
Would have been like Tom Green or something.
Yeah, you would have had like, you would have paid Robert Redford $20 million to be in this picture, and he would have looked at it and just kind of phoned it in. It's like, fuck it, it's a comic book movie. Who gives a shit? You're going to pay me this much money to say these lines? Fine. And then, the performance wouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, I mean, it's kind of evolved. The comic book movies have taken that next step where you're getting these A-list actors taking these roles, taking it seriously, and taking these movies to that next level.
And they're written well enough to, merit having good actors.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. I really liked his performance. I thought he was really good. The other thing I want to talk about is, really quickly, the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. is no more. Yeah. And Cap's like, fuck it, we're taking this down.
Nick Fury is in hiding.
Yeah. The events of this are huge. It's to the point where, like, you have a lot of heavy shit going on in this movie. Like, a lot of consequences falling behind this. I would think that Cap would be like, hey, Tony, can you come help him out really quickly? Remember how you helped out with the one helicarrier? Now I got 3 of these things I got to fight. Why don't you come on down real quick, come to DC and help me out? Like, I would have the Avengers on speed dial at this point, where all these movies, I understand they're standalones and they should be standalones, and you can't have all of them coming every single time there's this huge battle. But when you think about it in reality, like, the Avengers should be helping. I mean, these are huge things that are going on right now.
Think of it this way.
They're world changing.
Iron Man just destroyed all of his suits at the end of Part 3.
Right.
So he maybe can't come to help.
Also, Cap is off the grid at this point. He's in hiding. He can't make a phone call like, hey, Tony Stark, I need your help, because they'd find him. Like,
no, they wouldn't find him.
Oh, yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D. wouldn't find him after he used a cell phone to call Tony Stark for help? Of course they would.
No, Widow would have a way to contact them off the grid and have a secret Morse code type of thing, like, hey, Bruce, I need you. Green out, get the hell over here.
Yeah, but the whole point of them
I understand it's
standalone. It was a covert mission. Right. It wasn't, wham bam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
But think about that, though. Like, if those helicarriers become operational, there's millions of people that die. Not because they deserve it, but we're being preemptive in that strike. Yes. Cap would think, like, I need to do this at all costs. I need to get some people here to help me out. I mean, he has Falcon, he has Widow, but shit, man, if I was Cap and a leader of all these people, like, hey, let's get as much help as possible.
Well, Cap, you have to keep in mind as well, is also a master strategist. So maybe this was the best strategy.
Don't you think the best strategy would be, like, get all these superheroes to help me out? Wouldn't that help you? Wouldn't that make it a lot easier for you? Not like there's 2 of us trying to take out 3 helicarriers. He
doesn't know who he can trust. Maybe Tony Stark is part of Hydra. He doesn't know.
That's another good point.
No, it's not a good point.
Yeah,
That's lazy.
Yeah, it is.
He doesn't know who he can trust, man. That's absolutely 100% valid.
Mm-mm. No, I'm not going with that one. That's he can't trust.
Alex
people.
and I are right. You're wrong.
He can't trust people in S.H.I.E.L.D. He knows damn well Tony hates S.H.I.E.L.D. It's an easy phone call.
Oh, okay, so that makes him less likely to be a Hydra agent?
Dude, Tony steals all of Shield's secrets in Avengers.
Maybe for
That
Hydra.
makes him less of a Hydra agent. You're helping my argument.
And
with
him
that.
and Tony don't even get along.
It doesn't matter about getting along.
Tony,
It's saving the
Tony
world.
Stark helped with the propulsion system for those helicarriers.
You put...
Yeah, that was mentioned in the movie.
So what?
So it makes him less likely of a character to trust.
Okay, fine, whatever. We're going to disagree on this one. So yes, the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., it happens.
Point being, the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think this is huge for the universe because while the first phase was all about S.H.I.E.L.D. and...
Bringing this group together.
Yes. The fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. is showing that there's a lot more to this universe than just S.H.I.E.L.D., and it expands so far beyond that. And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Great things to come, long story short.
It adds a definite wrench.
And whole level of depth.
Yeah, I like the aspect of that. It's like, S.H.I.E.L.D. not perfect. The fact that they're no more, and you see Maria Hill applying it Stark Industries. You see them disbanding and going to all these different places and stuff. It's pretty serious, man. I love the aspect of that. The next movie you get is Guardians of the Galaxy. Obviously, they're probably not going to touch on S.H.I.E.L.D. They're not going to be on Earth, pretty much. It's going to have...
Maybe in a post-credit scene. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm sure there would be a post-credit scene that's not related to Guardians. Yeah. That we'll see them relating to that. But what's the movie after that? What's the next movie in Phase 3?
Is it
Avengers 2, I think.
Is it?
I thought... Was Ant-Man not coming out? No,
Ant-Man's after Avengers.
Yeah, Ant-Man's Phase 3. Yeah. That's the beginning of Phase 3, I think.
Yeah, because
nice.
I think that Guardians is the end of... Avengers 2 is the end of Phase 2.
Right.
But the last movie before that is going to be Guardians.
Okay. Yeah, so that's it. We're not going to have anything before that. So we've seen pretty much on Earth's side what we're going to see out of Phase 2. And now we're going to go into the end of Phase 2 with Avengers and Guardians. That's cool.
Nice.
All right. We've talked about Captain America. Probably talk about another hour if we really wanted to. But why don't we talk about final thoughts? Which one wants to start?
I'll start. Like, honestly, this is a great movie. It's probably my favorite Marvel movie since Avengers. Outside of Avengers, honestly, I think it's probably my favorite Marvel movie. It really shows the character and the badassery of Captain America, and it really tries to shake up the universe and shows that Marvel has great things planned for what they're doing with their movies. So it just breathes new life into this whole universe that they're creating on film, and it's fantastic in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, minor gripes aside, it's really a movie you should see.
Alex couldn't have put it better. I've tried to decide how to place this movie in the 9 or so movies that exist in the Marvel Universe, and I'm torn between 3 movies as my favorite current Marvel movie, and it's this one, Captain America 2, Thor 2, and the first Iron Man. Those 3 are kind of hovering in first place for me.
Thor 2, really?
Yeah, I really loved Thor 2, man.
I'm surprised by that. I'm still surprised by that.
Because it was one of my favorite movies last year.
You didn't care about Thor, the first one.
It's not that I didn't care about it. I just wasn't wowed by it. Whereas with the second one, I really enjoyed it. I really felt that Loki was once again amazing. But whatever. Let's not discuss that. What I'm saying is, it's at the top of my list of these 9 or so movies that Marvel has created for this universe, and that's saying a lot, man. Because there's so many good movies in this world, and it's an absolute must see, for anybody that's an action fan, a spy movie fan, a comic book fan, just a fan of good movies.
Yeah, this movie goes beyond comic book movie, and it's just a good movie.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Chris, what do you think?
Before Alex, what was out of 4 stars? What would you give it?
3.5.
3.5. Adam,
I'm gonna float with Alex on this one. 3.5 as well.
Wow. All right. So let me preface my final thoughts really quickly on the fact that I'm not a Captain America fan. I've never really read his books. I didn't know too much about the character. I knew that he was pretty much the leader of the Avengers. He's kind of like the Boy Scout Superman DC character. He's Cap. You know, he's all good. He's that. That's how I know Cap. That's really all I know about Cap. I don't know too much about his backstory. I know he's Steve Rogers. I know about the serum and all that stuff. So the character never really intrigued me as I was growing up. So going into Cap 1, I watched the film multiple times, and I'm just like, it's all right. You know, it's not a great film for me. As we've talked about on several podcasts, I liked Thor 1 more than I liked Cap 1. That was just my opinion. That's what I liked. So going into Cap 2, I still kind of held that opinion where it's just like, it's Cap. I'm going to watch it, obviously, because I love the Marvel Universe. I like the characters. I really like Chris Evans as Cap. I think he does a really, really good job. But that's how I kind of went into it. So my opinion is kind of based on that when it comes to it. I think that when we talk about comic book movies, we always kind of relate them or rate them versus each other, as you kind of just touched on. It's a great comic book movie, and that's how you always talk about these types of movies. And for me, I think that we're starting to see, now that Marvel has been knocking out decent movie after decent movie, it kind of shifting in terms of the way that I'm kind of reviewing these movies now. I'm not looking at it like, oh, that's a great comic book movie, or that movie's great versus this comic book movie. I'm looking at it as, this is a movie. Mm-hmm. I'm not using comic book anymore as I want to, or I'm used to, basically, at this point. I'm saying that, you know, Cap America, the Winter Soldier, is a decent movie. I'm not saying that it's, you know, a great comic book movie. I'm just saying it's a decent movie overall. Mm-hmm. I think it can survive amongst other movies that are not comic book related. I think that there are some issues, obviously, if I'm rating it versus other movies and not just Captain America versus comic book movies, it falters a little bit. It's not a great spy movie. I mean, yes, it is in a comic book universe, mm-hmm. but if you look at it from other spy movies or compared to other spy movies, like even one that Robert Redford was in, like Spy Game, yeah, I think that was a wittier script. I think it was a smarter script versus Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So from a spy movie, it was kind of cookie cutter. It was just paint by the numbers. Nothing really special. Nothing taking it to that next level of a spy movie or to that next level of great movie. Mm-hmm. It was decent, but there was a lot of just paint by numbers in terms of that regard. So my review is a little bit more critical in that regard. So overall, I think it's a good film. I think it's a great comic book movie, but I'm only giving it 2.5 stars out of 4, just because I'm starting to rate these movies based on higher standards. They've come to the point in the Marvel Universe where it fits perfectly into the Marvel Universe. It sets the standard really, really high for the Marvel Universe, but I'm going to give it a little bit more of a critique as opposed to what I would have done in the past. So that's where I'm coming from. I think it's a good film. You definitely need to watch it if you want to pay attention to the Marvel Universe. This is a really good setup for the end of Phase 2, where we just mentioned, Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out next. You got Avengers, Age of Ultron coming out. It sets it up perfectly. Mm-hmm. So we are going to see an amazing Phase 2 ending and the start of Phase 3. So really excited. You need to watch this film, definitely for that regard. It's a good film, but just not great in terms of movies.
Fair enough.
So that's what I thought of Captain America: The Winter Soldier. If you guys have opinions about it, obviously let us know. Shoot us an email. Write us on Twitter. Write us on the Facebook page. Let us know what you guys think, because I love talking about this stuff. It's obviously, you can tell we like talking about it with a lot of passion, so let us know. We're going to move on now to InFamous Second Son, which is the new InFamous movie on the PS4. The next
game.
Did I say movie?
It's a game, yeah.
Damn it.
You play it.
I'm in movie mode. All right. It's the first, I would say, considered must-buy game for the next generation. For
PlayStation
Sony,
4.
For PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
For the PlayStation 4 Titanfall, I would say it was probably the best system seller at this point. But yes, it's the first game on PlayStation 4 that I would say that would be considered as a system seller for Sony. And initial thoughts, what do you guys think?
Well, outside of talking about the game directly, I'd like to start out with the fact that as you said, it is in fact a system seller, and the numbers have proved it. In the first 8 days on sale, the game broke 1 million copies sold, which is the highest number and fastest selling InFamous to date.
Yeah, I mean, it sold me personally. Like, I didn't buy the PS4 at launch.
Mm-hmm.
I waited until there was something that I actually wanted to play. This was the first game that I wanted to play on the PS4, and so it sold me. I'm exactly in that category, I would say. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was really what I kind of wanted to start the discussion with, just simply stating that it is the greatest selling InFamous to date.
Which is
impressive for a new generation.
Yeah.
I think people are hungry for the new generation games, and something that they're kind of familiar with, like the InFamous franchise. I mean, this is the 3rd installment in the franchise, so they know what to expect from that franchise, and they're excited about it. I mean, shit, I was. Do you guys want to, like, opening synopsis of it really quickly?
Essentially, you're this guy, Delson Rowe, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're the younger brother of this family that's basically the Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
There is a crash of a car that's carrying these 3 conduits, or as they call them now, bioterrorists, which are basically superhuman beings.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of try to help one out, and you learn that you're a conduit yourself that absorbs powers, kind of like Rogue.
Yeah.
So you get this guy's smoke powers, and within that, what's the group called? The DCP, the conduit chasers. What are they called?
Dupe, weren't they?
The dupes,
DUP.
yeah.
DUP. They try to hunt this guy down. They find you, and they start to basically torture your whole village to find out where these escaped bioterrorists are.
Mm-hmm.
And so you end up chasing the DUP down to Seattle, where you want to gain the powers to stop the torture of your fellow Native Americans, essentially.
Yeah, you want to heal them.
So you're just basically running around Seattle, getting more bioterrorist powers, conduit powers, or whatever you want to call them, to save your people, or whatever you choose, depending on which path you take. I took the good path, so I tried to save my people.
All of us did. All of us actually played this game good, which I was surprised about.
Okay, so if you did that, you saved your people, and it's yeah.
Again, for people who don't understand, our roundtables are spoiler heavy, so we are going to be talking about InFamous in spoiler ways. So, like, I'm immediately going to say that the main villain has concrete powers, and she really does some serious shit with, like, fucking people up with concrete.
Yeah, like needling them basically with these spikes of concrete in their legs, arms, backs, necks, heads.
Yeah, I mean,
name it.
When you think about it, like, oh, okay, I can mold concrete. That's a shitty power. But the way that she uses it is like, damn, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, what a bitch.
She encases people completely in concrete.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really shitty thing to do. So, yeah, she's not a nice person.
No.
No.
All right, so that's pretty much the gameplay. Or that's pretty much the plot, or the opening plot to it. So, what do you guys think about Delson?
He's a fun character. I mean, he's kind of cookie cutter. He's like this, this kind of rapscallion.
Good word.
He does graffiti art and everything. And his older brother's a cop.
Damn, I feel bad now. I'm saying shit like a million times in this episode. You're like rapscallion.
Like, his older brother's a cop, so there's that conflict between them. But your brother's trying to help you out while trying to keep you, steer you straight as well. So there's that cool dichotomy with that, but you're still just kind of like this punk kid that just wants to
have fun.
Yeah.
Who wants to be Banksy, apparently.
Yeah.
He had some pretty cool graffiti art, man.
Yeah, like heavily inspired by Banksy's graffiti art.
No denying that.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're basically running around town, and part of your stuff to do is making a lot of graffiti art. And
yeah, graffiti art, collect shards, do this, do that.
Clear out areas of bad guys. And
essentially. The general sandboxy stuff you tend to expect from these
very
games.
sandboxy elements to it. But what did you guys think about doing it? Did you like turning your PS4 controller sideways and shaking it like a can?
That was stupid. That was like... That was like the first thing you control. I'm like, I'm going to fucking hate this game.
I felt the same way the first time I did it when you're doing that big billboard, but the more I did it with the little tiny Banksy things, maybe it's because I was excited to see what I was painting. Mm-hmm. I actually started to kind of like it, man. I know it's completely gimmicky, and I knew both of you guys would hate it, and I'm sitting there like, man, I know these guys are hating this, but I'm actually kind of digging it. You're shaking it, and you actually kind of feel like you're spray painting. It's stupid, yes.
Mark Echo's getting up.
Yeah, like
I dug it, man.
As I did that multiple times throughout the game, I kind of sat there hoping that you would realize that I hate every fucking second of doing this.
Oh no,
and
I
wanted you to think of me as I'm sitting there swearing, like fucking I hate doing this shit.
You must have sent some vibes my way because I knew exactly every moment that I was painting. Like Chris hates this. Why do I enjoy it?
It was gimmicky. I didn't hate it. I didn't enjoy it. I liked seeing what the art was made because I'm fucking an art idiot like that.
Yeah.
But I could have done without it.
All of it was really clever, though.
It's clever,
the actual
yes.
art itself.
Yes, very much so.
The art I did enjoy. I fully admit that.
But like I said, it's gimmicky. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was there. Like most of this game, it was just kind of there, I felt.
And I'm glad that you thought of me as swearing as you were doing that. But at the same time, I will fully admit that in terms of all the gimmicks that I've had to go through with the damn 6-axis controllers from the PS3 now to the PS4 gimmicks, I thought this was one of the more clever ones.
Yeah, the speaker sounding like a
right.
can.
As opposed to me in Killzone, like having to turn a valve with my 6-axis controller. I hated the unnecessary bullshit that was. At least in this regard of gimmicks, and I hate gimmicks, don't get me wrong. At least I got to turn my controller sideways. Like it was kind of like a spray can. Okay, fine.
And the speaker on the controller actually made the spray paint sounds.
The speaker on the gamepad still freaks me out sometimes. I'm still playing. I'm like, oh my god, it's my controller. Okay.
Yeah, there were several times where...
Is my phone ringing? No, it's my controller. I'm not popular. I'm playing games.
Yeah. There were several times where my daughter was sitting there watching the game as I was playing it, and like the speaker would come out of the controller, and she'd be like, what the... Like, she'd be kind of surprised or shocked by it, and like, yeah, it's kind of annoying. I agree. Yeah, but in terms of gimmicks, I guess it's the best stupid gimmick.
Like I said, it was least intrusive in the gameplay. It was kind of a break from the gameplay.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to aim how you're throwing a fucking grenade in Uncharted.
Oh, the first Uncharted? Yeah, that was unpleasant.
Stupid as shit. There's so many dumb things with the 6-axis controller. Alright, anyways. We're not talking about 6-axis and my hatred for it. Okay, so gameplay. This is the third installment of the InFamous series, as we've talked about. Mm-hmm. We've talked a little bit about Delsin. Delsin versus Cole. Why don't we talk about that really quickly? Cole was the main person in InFamous 1 and InFamous 2, and I guess the DLC for... What was the DLC?
The standalone downloadable title was Festival of Blood.
That's it, Festival of Blood. Cole is a very established character, and somebody that I personally loved.
Yeah. Established character with really good relationships with other characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
was deep.
He was an awesome character. So going into this, like I didn't know how I felt about playing Delsin Rowe, a different character in the InFamous series. I was kind of like, I want to play Cole again. So that being said, I guess I was kind of disappointed with Delsin. Yeah. I didn't like his character.
I didn't dislike him, but I found myself... it's funny you say you missed Cole, but I found myself using Cole's jacket pretty much the entirety of the game once I unlocked that. So I kind of felt like I was playing Cole.
He's not as cool as Cole, man.
I did like some of his lines, though. He's fucking funny at points.
He definitely has clever dialogue. He was well written.
Yes.
I'll give him that.
But yeah, as a character, he's not developed as Cole is.
Yeah.
He was boring to me. Like, yeah, okay, he had a couple funny comments, but other than that, like, I didn't really care about him that much. I mean, his relationship with his brother was obviously set up for reasons in later in the plot.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we knew.
You knew from the bat he was going to die.
Yes.
Spoiler.
Like, yeah, and it's so cheap. Also, like, I knew it was going to happen, and when it happens, you're like, fuck, of course they kill off his brother because that's what
has to set him off.
Yes.
Because pretty much up until that point, he's been happy-go-lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just sitting around collecting stupid powers. Again,
Destroying cameras, whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's doing his own shit. In terms of gameplay, I kind of want to touch about that a little bit. Third installment, I felt like it was not really well built. There was a lot of issues in terms of the way that I was, like, climbing buildings is atrocious in this game.
It's terrible.
But the game's not about climbing buildings anymore. It's about flying up them and doing things along those lines.
And I feel like it just makes it easy.
Yeah, it definitely was easy. I mean, I'm not...
No, not easy, lazy.
Oh, lazy, okay. Yeah.
I think a lot of the fun in the original InFamous games was jumping on fucking power lines and skidding across them, and just the way you traverse the city. At this point, it's traversing the city is almost like a chore. It's like...
It doesn't feel fluid. It doesn't feel fun.
Right.
And what I was touching
it's how
on...
you get from point A to point B the fastest, not the funnest.
Right. Like, I don't necessarily want to swoop up buildings or run up the sides of the buildings in an InFamous game. Like, I understand it in other contexts and in other games where I had a lot more fun with, a la Saints Row 4, where they gave me crazy superpowers and I could run up buildings.
You were more superpowered in Saints Row 4 than you were in this.
Right, but it felt cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it felt smoother in terms of, like, the mechanics behind it. This one, like, if I'm trying to, like, what was the first power I get?
The smoke power. The
smoke power. So, like, I don't necessarily have the ability to swoop up the building easily or run up it in the graffiti power, or the neon power, sorry. So I'm doing the first power, and a lot of times I don't have the ability to just get up there, so I have to climb some certain areas.
Find a vent at the bottom, then swoosh up there.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. Otherwise, like, if you're stuck halfway up a building and you're trying to climb it, it's just a bitch.
I honestly feel like they were too lazy to develop good climbing mechanics in this game, that they just kind of shoehorned those in there.
But I guess my point was, like, we had 2 previous installments that did just fine.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't arguments about it. There wasn't, like, obviously it wasn't the fluid movements that we would get in, like, an Assassin's Creed.
Damn close, though.
But, yeah. But I felt this was a huge step backwards, and it was kind of annoying. Like, seriously, guys? I mean, it's the same company. It's Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a different company. So you guys have the code. I know you guys can do this. You've done it. Why did you get lazy in this installment?
You know, I think they just focused less on it due to the fact that they expected you to be using your powers to a higher degree. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I really didn't have the issue. I played most of the game with my neon powers, and I ran up the buildings in a matter of a second.
You did neon,
yeah,
and then you did neon.
Yeah,
okay.
With smoke, I could completely understand climbing being an issue because you had to find a vent. But with neon, you run up whatever surface you want, like you're friggin' Spider-Man. And I never had an issue of getting anywhere fast, and I thought it was fun personally.
Okay. I guess for me, the way that I'm going to try to say this as quickly as possible, it's a sandbox game, so you have the opportunity to run around the city and do a whole bunch of things without necessarily following the story. In order for you to get powers in this game, you need to progress through the story. So I got smoke as my first power, obviously, and I spent a lot of time using smoke because I'm going around getting all this other shit before I progress through the story. So anything that was available to me, I'd go do that side mission, or I'd go collect that shard, or I'd go collect all that stuff, and I only had smoke at the time. So a large amount of my gameplay was collecting stuff using smoke only until the point where I went like, oh, okay, I got nothing else to do. Now I'll go progress the story. Oh, look, I got a new power. I got neon. So then I was still using smoke because at that time I invested so much time in the smoke.
You were more comfortable with it.
I was very comfortable with smoke, and then I got this new power. And I'm like, I fucking hate this power. This power sucks. But it didn't suck. It's just I wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
So I was still using smoke for a lot of time. But then as the story progressed, I realized I had to use these other powers as well, and I started getting used to them. And so then I was doing kind of like a mixture. But for me, a majority of my time I was using smoke.
Okay.
But I also think it's just play styles because
it is play style.
I felt the neon was kind of like a sniper play style, or more precise.
Time would slow down once you unlocked a higher version of the power.
Exactly, and I love sniper play styles. I think Adam, you're kind of into it as well. And
yep.
That,
you were more of the run and gun, brawling, let's beat shit up type game style.
That's the other part of it that was I felt kind of it wasn't balanced in terms of, not saying the story was unbalanced. I'm saying that like the gameplay style that I played, where I got my power and I'd go unlock everything before I progress the story. That's just the way that I play, like metagaming it, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I collected so many damn shards where once I got the new power, I got to unlock everything. Just right away, just boom, boom, boom. I unlocked a majority of the powers in that wheel, and because of that, I didn't get to necessarily learn these powers as I collected shards as I did with Smoke.
Yeah,
where it's like, all right, I got this new power, I'm going to go collect more shards. So then I got this new power, so I'm practicing this new power. Then I get another power to practice, and then I build on that. Instead, I got the new powers. I got so many damn shards. I just unlocked everything, so I didn't utilize that learning process or that learning curve, so to speak, where I got a new power, use it, get another new power. I just unlocked everything at once. So that was kind of like my downfall, and that was my personal way because I metagamed the shit out of it. But that was one of the reasons also why I used Smoke most of the time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We talked about plot a little bit. The story kind of follows the events. Cole, I guess, dies.
It's like 7 years later or something,
Yeah.
7 or 8.
So, like...
it follows the events of the good ending from...
The good ending of...
Infamous
2, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that means Zeke is still alive?
He is, yeah. If you play the special...
Paper trail thing?
No, it's not Paper Trail. Paper Trail's actually about a serial killer,
Oh,
but...
okay.
For pre-ordering the game, you got bonus missions where you could unlock Cole's jacket, and basically you're in communication with Zeke at one point during these series of missions.
So I didn't get any of that.
Nothing special, to be
It's
honest.
really
Outside of the
nothing
jacket.
special.
Yeah.
Like, I was stoked. Like, I'm doing Cole missions. Like, this is going to be cool. And you get these lame-ass missions. It's like, well, I did not progress this. It didn't matter.
The interaction with Zeke is just over phone. So you see his picture in the top right-hand corner, but you never actually get to meet Zeke. And that was such a waste, in my opinion. Like, if you've got this guy coming back to do this voice acting gig, at least have Delsin meet him and talk to him a little bit. Like, kind of like in Infamous 1 and 2, when Cole and Zeke had those really close bro moments. I'm not saying, Delsin and Zeke should be bros like that, but maybe have a little bit more of a touching moment between those two characters. Like maybe Zeke kind of reminiscing about Cole with Delsin or something along those lines.
Something like that.
It was lost.
Something to add to it. Like, this didn't add anything to the game. It was just, it existed, it was a pre-order bonus, and it was there. At the end of it, like you said, you got Cole's jacket. Cool, whatever. I thought that in terms of the plot or the story aspects to it, you just totally touched on the reason why I loved the Infamous series, the Infamous 1 and 2, is because of those relationships. Zeke and Cole had an awesome freaking relationship.
Yeah.
They developed it.
With great ups and downs.
They did awesome job in terms of like building that whole entire story and stuff. So you had these great characters, you had different side characters that you cared about, you loved, and now you enter the third installment, you have Delsin, and he has, side characters that he meets, other people who have the powers,
Other conduits
and stuff. And it was a Fetch and Eugene, or
something like that, yeah.
well, see, we don't even see. That's that's exactly it. That is
There's
exactly my
Neon
point.
Girl, Computer Boy, and Prisoner. Those are the three main conduits.
We don't care about their names because we don't care about them as characters. That is my huge argument about Infamous Second Son, is the fact that like they did so well in the first two installments that this game kind of felt like it was phoned in. Like, it was just like, hey, this is new gen. You know you're going to buy it because you care about Infamous, and we didn't develop this game as much as we should have. I'm trying to get into my final arguments, but like a lot of that is basically what I want to talk about. We don't care about the side characters in these games. Like, you don't even know their fucking names. It's like,
what's the brother's name?
There
you go.
Sheriff.
Yeah, sheriff brother guy. But yeah, it's like you just don't care. So that's perfectly hits it on the head.
Yeah,
it's these characters are just, they exist for you to steal their powers. They try to give them a little bit of backstory and give them a little bit of development and reasons for you and Delsin to care about them. But at the end of it, you don't. You just don't.
Right, and they're all these heroes are misfits in a sense. You got a convict, you got a druggie, and you got a kid that is so socially inept that he gets a social interaction through video games.
Yeah,
and he develops his power through it.
Did you like the computer nerds boss battle? The mini.
I thought it was interesting.
I liked it because it changed the formula up a bit. So
God, I hated it. At that time, I was still using smoke all the time, and then that forced me to use other powers, and I was so mad. I hate this fucking
I thought it
level.
was unique, and I thought it was a nice twist on the universe.
Oh God, I hated it. I hated it so bad.
I didn't really use his powers at all. Like,
you got him so
Almost
in
all.
the game that you really have no.
Yeah, that was the other part of it, the pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we should have had an ample amount of time. Maybe, well, I played it a little bit differently than you, I guess. But like you got his power pretty much at the very end of the game. So like you do a couple missions and you're done with it.
it's what's even worse is when you get your fourth power. Because I mean,
the concrete power at
yeah.
the end.
Well, what do you do with it? Nothing.
Yeah, because at that point, like I played a little bit differently
There's
from
not
you,
even
Chris.
a tree for it.
Yeah. Well, there was, I think, something that you could
There is a
put
small
some,
tree for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
some shards into, but by the time I had unlocked that, once I unlocked the very last mission, the story-based mission, that's when I went Chris into this game and went and collected everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to collect everything because the game's over. I don't want to do the last mission until I'm fully powered up and I have everything. Boom. I play the last boss, I unlock concrete power, and the city's empty. What am I going to do with it? You know?
Right.
That's how I was.
And it was a cool power. Like, you get to run around as like a big concrete dude, and
You got to roll as a boulder, and
yeah, it was neat. But I couldn't do anything with it. Honestly, that's my biggest gripe with the game. I'm like, that power might as well not exist.
There's really no point. I mean,
it only serves as the main point of the story, which is to get this power so you could save your people.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know what the evil path is.
yeah, I'm not even sure what the evil path is, to be honest. But like,
To kill your people.
yeah, would you go there and murder them? Like, I don't understand.
I think he probably
It's like, hey,
still saved them.
does that hurt that concrete in your leg? Oh, I feel this now. Like they blow
It's
up.
in your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know what the evil power would be for that. I'm kind of interested.
But
But
subjugates them, like, you're now my people.
even you just took down the DUP. So like, why would there even be shit left in the game after, like, from a story standpoint? I guess you just took down the leader of the DUP. Or either you probably save or you kill her, depending on how you play the game. So why would there still be DUP checkpoints and different shit like that throughout the game? Wouldn't they just be gone because you just took them down?
Yeah.
So they shouldn't
Small
exist anymore.
resistance remaining.
Yeah, like
We got this, guys.
from a story aspect.
We got
that
this. I don't care if they destroyed our main headquarters. We got this.
From a story standpoint, it just doesn't make much sense. Okay, evil ending. Sorry. Delsin kills Augustine instead of saving her, and together Fetch and Eugene. Ooh, I was right with Fetch. Take control of Seattle. Delsin then plans to release all the imprisoned conduits and absorb all of their powers in the process. Afterwards, he returns to his Akomish reservations to stay true to his promise, and he still heals the members of his tribe instead of blowing them up with concrete. Lame as that. But then he reaches the longhouse. He is greeted by Betty, now in a wheelchair, who banishes him from the tribe from his actions in Seattle before closing and locking the door in front of him, rejecting his help. Shocked and angered, Delsin destroys the entire reservation. There you go. He goes Anakin. He goes Anakin and murders them all. The women and the children, apparently. That's fucked up. Wow. I was just kidding about that. Wow, that's messed up. Okay.
Let's go extreme with the evil ending.
Right. So, okay. Yeah. Where do you go from that? Paper Trail download content. Did you guys play Paper Trail?
I had trouble connecting to the server or whatever, and I could never get past the point. So I'm like, done.
I did too. I did.
I deactivated the account, I reactivated it, and it couldn't connect to the account. And I said, I'm done with this. I don't like chasing around this origami girl.
I did not like
chasing. There was a lot of chasing in this game.
There was a stupid amount of chasing.
Yeah,
especially Neon Girl. Neon Girl pissed me off. There was so much chasing, and I hate chase things. Like, I'm horrible at them. Like Crackdown, speed racing in Saints Row. I don't like those missions. Those missions do not excite me. I get mad when they're in the games, and then I'm chasing stupid Neon Girl for a long time. A long freaking time. And I'm trying to do it with Smoke because I refuse to use any other powers. I only had Smoke at the time.
Yeah, you didn't get powers yet. And chasing Neon Girl with Smoke is
it's clunky as shit.
Yeah, it's torus in the hair.
Oh, it's so bad. So bad. And then she's running up buildings, and like if you don't have a pipe, if you don't have a pipe, good luck. Because you start trying to climb the building, it takes forever. She gets away, blah blah blah. Needless to say, I had to play a lot of those missions over. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Boss fights?
Boss fights, do it.
There's the one. Then there's the other one, and I think there were like two. There was Eugene.
You also had to fight Fetch in the Dark Warehouse, which I absolutely friggin' hated because I could never see her.
Yeah.
It dragged on forever, and it was really, really annoying. And she had a life bar that lasted apparently through next friggin' week. It was really, I hated that boss battle. I liked the Eugene, the demon angel giant boss fight, and I actually liked the last concrete boss fight. I thought that was cool looking, and you know,
it was cool looking.
It had a very easy pattern, so it was an easy boss fight, but I still liked the appearance of it.
Ascending the tower was fun, I think.
Yeah,
I think that was my favorite point of the game. Because I think that really gave you the best superpower feel, where you and your team are taking on all these DUP agents, and that was a lot of fun. Seeing them team up like that. But other than,
yeah, you know what? I'm going completely with Alex on this one. I did like the climbing the tower aspects to it. I didn't like the end battle necessarily. Maybe it's just the way I played it. Like it felt clunky as shit to me. Like I couldn't get around some of the stuff that she was throwing at me, or she was like gliding. I don't remember what she was doing, but there was times where I felt like I should have been able to swoop away pretty easily, and I still got hit, and that annoyed the piss out of me. Magic enemy powers where they have like perfect aim for shit, and they really shouldn't have that aim.
You know what? The DUP agents had incredible aim.
Yes, they did.
Especially when I'm neoing around.
They're
like, nope, got your head.
Like, how did you just hit me? Like, I don't understand that. But yeah, they had really good aim for shit.
God, they had better aim than I did. Shit.
Yeah,
These are not stormtroopers.
No, and they're not Hydra agents shooting at Captain America. They'll hit your ass. Especially with like rocket launchers, and they shoot repeatedly, like 1, 2, 3, like right away. Mm-hmm. So like you think you dodge one, and you're getting hit ahead, and like there are some annoying moments for sure in this game. All right, why don't we? Is that it? You talked about bosses. You feel comfortable?
I think that's about it. I mean, it's not a very long game, so there's not a whole lot to talk about.
Story wise, it was a very short game.
Yes.
Short. Like I went around collecting everything, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna.
If this was a movie, it'd be like an hour and a half.
Yeah, dude, I'm disappointed with the length for sure.
And you know what? Okay, I do want to touch about their animation process or whatever.
Okay.
Like the facial animation, like that did look sexy.
Yeah,
like it looked really good, and
Absolutely.
It's really cool technology. It's similar to what they use in LA Noire. I want to say it has that kind of same look, but much more refined.
Oh yeah, smoother.
And it really does take that animation to the next level. Like, there's a scene in the very beginning when Alexander was like, you seem nervous. Why are you nervous? You hiding something from me? And he's like, no, I only get nervous around pretty girls. And then he makes this face.
Like, he looks away like...
Even he doesn't even fucking believe what he just said. But he made this face that, it would take a really, really skilled animator to really capture. But they use this technology, and it's portrayed magnificentely.
And you got to give credit to the voice actor because they used facial capture on them as well, and it's actually the same voice actor as Joel from The Last of Us.
Oh,
okay.
I did not know that.
So like, it's a really cool technology, and I like to see it more, and I think they could refine it a lot better, and it's going to really take storytelling for video games to that next level.
Oh yeah, definitely. It makes the characters much more believable, even if the writing's not all that deep.
Yeah, I think that's probably the last thing I want to say on that. But
no, very well. Like that was a good point. Definitely something to bring up. It's next gen technology, and we're finally getting to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. But yeah, final words. Who wants to start?
I guess I'll go first this time. So it's visually a next gen game. Gameplay wise, nothing really new. Is it a must play? If you're starved for games on your PS4, yes. You know, it's something that you should play because it's a good game. It's not great. It's I enjoyed it, but I can't say that it's for everybody. I'm kind of torn because a little disappointed in its length and its story, and overall the map itself felt really small.
That's because you had powers that had you zip around everywhere.
You know, maybe that's the
It
case.
gave it less of an intimate feel for the city. But
Yeah, but you had similar powers in Saints Row 4, and that felt big. I mean, that felt like a large sandbox. So I don't know if I can blame the powers necessarily on that regard.
fair enough.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, well, I mean they had to go off CL, so whatever. But are you done with your final thought? Sorry, I kind of
Rating
out of what, 4?
10.
Out of 10?
You can do games out of 10, sir.
I know it's been a while, but come on.
Man, it's above average, but not by much. So I'm gonna go 6.5.
Okay.
I'm going to pick it back off that. I'm going to say 6.5 as well. It is a visually stunning game. Really good lighting effects, good animation, good technology behind the animation. When you use your ultimate superpower, like, it looks freaking fantastic.
Oh, like when he shoots up into the sky and
Yeah.
he kind of smiles before he drops back down?
When he levitates everyone and shoots them all, and
Yeah.
you got that depth of field and that crazy lighting. Like, it looks good.
Yeah.
But yeah, gameplay wise, it doesn't do much. I feel like it's actually a step back for the series, in some respects. And short story. So I mean, like you said, I mean, if you're starved for a PlayStation 4 game, yeah, I get it. I mean, I think most people are starved because there's not a lot coming out at this point. So you can get it. I'd say you maybe want to wait to drop maybe to $40 or so. But yeah, I think like 6.5 is a fair score for it.
All right. Me. I think I touched a lot about my final thoughts about it regarding, as we were talking about the story. I think it doesn't feel like an Infamous game to me. It just feels like a game with the Infamous name on it. I loved the first 2 Infamous games. I loved Cole. I loved the character development. I expect a lot from the Infamous name. I didn't get that in Second Son. I felt that it was lacking in majority of the regards. It doesn't live up to its predecessors at all. Story-wise, I was just didn't matter. It was very short in story. I didn't care about the characters. As we talked about, we can't even remember the freaking names of the guys. It was a neon person, and like it just goes to show like we don't care about these characters. And if I'm going to devote 10 to 15 hours into a game, I mean, probably I don't know how many hours I actually committed to this game, but I 100%ed it on the good side. I want to have something that I could walk away from story-wise. I want to like feel like I've experienced something. I experienced next gen in terms of like the lighting effects, the great visuals from it. Yeah, it looks freaking great. Mm-hmm. But I want more now. I'm not basing consoles like, oh, that game looks great because the graphics are awesome. No, I want content. I want characters. I want people that I care about. I want to talk about Zeke and Cole and their relationship and their ups and downs. I want to talk about that stuff. And that's what I care about games. That's why I still play games. I'm 90 years old and I'm still playing games. It's crazy. Because I care and I want to care about these characters. Second Son just felt like a cash in. Here's your next gen. There's nothing else out for your next gen consoles except for games that have come out on previous consoles already. This is going to be the first game that you're going to buy the PS4 for. It suckered me in. It got me to buy a PS4. So kudos to Sucker Punch for that, I guess, for living off the name. But yeah, it's lazy. It's a lazy installment. I'm not looking forward to any sequels that come out if it deals with this character or if they put as much effort into the next game as they put into Second Son. I'm not going to give a shit. Yeah, I mean, that's just basically what it boils down to. I don't necessarily recommend this game if there's other games out there that you want to play, like a multiplayer game, like Battlefield 4, even on the PS4 at this point. Go play that, man. You're going to get more enjoyment from that. Go play Call of Duty Ghosts, even though no one really likes it.
Snoop Dogg loves it.
Oh, God. I cannot wait to talk about that. Speaking of which, we are going to have a regular podcast this week. We're going to be talking about it. But anyways, final thoughts. I'm going to preface my rating. We talk about, we talk on a scale of 1 to 10. And for us, 1 to 10 means 1 to 10. So the median for that is 5. 5 means it's an average game. It's not IGN ratings where the system starts at 7.
Yeah.
We are saying 6.5 is an average game
this
because
is school, son. This is real life.
This is, I'm giving it a 5. I'm saying it's an average game. It's nothing special. You don't necessarily need to play this game because there's, aside from great graphics, there's not much there.
But it's not a bad game.
It's average. It nowadays. It's just it exists. It's kind of like what Killzone kind of is to me.
Yeah.
It's there. It exists. They live off their names and whatever. So 5 out of 10 for me. That is average, not IGN scores again. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. We kind of look forward to doing more roundtables. I like the spoiler aspects to it. We get to speak freely.
It's been a while since we've all seen and played the same thing.
Yeah. And I mean,
in a timely manner.
I mean,
especially a game that we've all been able to finish as a group.
Yeah.
That's true too. I mean, movies are a lot easier because you're only investing in 2.5 hours to it. It's easier to do. But for a game, I mean, you're committing 10 plus hours to these things. It's a little bit harder for us. I mean, we're adults. We have adult shit to do, as Alex would always say. So
I do say that a lot.
we're going to probably talk about Watch Dogs in a roundtable. At least I would like to.
Let's hope so. Yeah.
Where that game's going to be warranted a roundtable discussion as opposed to something else. I don't know. That's going to be coming out.
Guardians of the Galaxy, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I plan. There's stuff on the plate for us to talk about roundtable discussions. I think it's just getting my ass motivated to do them. Basically, what it boils down to. So I hope you guys enjoyed the spoiler talk on this one. If you did, let us know. We love feedback. So any feedback, say Adam's stupid. It's feedback. I don't care.
Chris is dumb and old and ugly.
And Alex is sexy as all hell.
Yeah, people always say those things.
It's weird. You know what? Before we wrap up the show, I do want to touch on, we do have a YouTube channel now. Yep. We're going to try to film one of our things video, or one of our podcast videos, so you can see our stupid faces and Adam's fat head.
It's not a fat head, it's just a large cranium.
Yeah, it's going to take up half the screen. I warn everybody now. Anyways, how can we reach everybody?
You can follow me on Twitter. My name there is Alex Sandberg, AlexSandberg. What about you, Adam?
I'm also on Twitter. You can follow me on there. My tag is Adam Howlett, AtomHowlett. Then Alex and I both have emails at the website, alex@lostlevel.com and adamhowlett@lostlevel.com.
No one ever emails me, so I didn't bother plugging it.
Fair enough. And Chris.
But you can email him, and he will check it, and then he'll respond back saying, God, I am beautiful.
Yeah, send him some
I'll send you a
fan
selfie.
mail.
He will send his selfies to you. God.
Oh, God, I hate that term. I don't know why I just used it.
All right. You can reach me on twitter.com/calmintensity. I actually used it a couple times. Whoa. Lost Level has a Facebook or a Twitter page. Twitter.com, The Lost Level, which we do update on a regular basis now. Yay, us. We also have a fan page on Facebook. We really encourage you to like us on there. Facebook.com/LostLevel. And what else can I say? We do have...
Rate us, give us stars.
iTunes.
Yeah, we're on iTunes. You guys like iTunes? You like downloading stuff directly? Subscribe to us on iTunes. We'd really appreciate that. Tell a friend about us. We do have a YouTube channel, as I have. LostLevel.com, which is our website, has all this information up in the upper right-hand corner. Clear links to it, little icons. Click on that icon. It takes you right to that page. So we really appreciate you guys spreading the word for us. So talk to you guys in a normal podcast next time.
Bye.